It's almost impossible to find someone who hasn't been affected by breast cancer. Whether it's the patient, the spouses, the children, or the friends. The encouraging news is that breast cancer is now an eminently survivable disease. But sadly, for those living with secondary breast cancer, their reality is a very different one. They are incurable. Incurable, but treatable. And, in many cases, looks can be deceiving.
Is this what incurable cancer looks like?
Or this.
Or this.
Or this?
Or this.
We are the mothers,
The daughters.
The wives.
The sisters.
the friends.
Secondary breast cancer is the term used when cancer cells spread from the breast to other parts of the body. But there is no cure.
No cure.
No cure.
There are approximately 35,000 people living in the UK with secondary breast cancer.
And every single month, around 1,000 people die from the disease in the UK.
This has to change.
This needs to stop.
We need to make seconds count. I had no symptoms at the time.
So they thought it was just primary, but I actually had pains in my sternum.
So originally, the symptoms I had were a very sore throat and a cough.
I had a sore back, which they put down to having children.
I went because I had discovered a lump.
I just thought I had a chest infection or something like that.
So cancer was never really in the equation.
They put me in a scanner.
First test I had done was a CT scan of my liver.
And to my horror discovered that it was secondary breast cancer, and I didn't know really what that meant.
And I had a tumour in my sternum and some little nodules in my lung.
And it was already in my liver, lungs and bones.
This was cancer in my liver, and I would live with that for the rest of my life.
And lots of my friends were saying, if it's breast cancer, you'll be fine.
It was devastating. It was just, I felt numb. I didn't know really what that meant.
I kind of went in thinking I would get that kind of all clear that everyone hopes to get. And when I didn't get that, it was particularly tough.
Very, very surreal.
I didn't even know what to feel at that point.
Originally, I thought if it's primary, it'll be sorted. I'd never heard of secondary.
First thought was, this is it.
And I just immediately thought of my son and what was going to happen.
And then I just remember I kind of fell into this black hole of grief.
Targeted chemotherapy.
Genetic testing.
3 emergency spinal surgeries.
I've had whole brain radiotherapy.
Hormone blockers. I had 9 rounds of chemo.
Radiotherapy.
A treatment called Cyberknife.
Herceptin.
A double mastectomy.
To put an implant in my stomach.
A lumpectomy.
Lost my hair.
I think the hardest thing for me has been seeing the impact that it's had on those around me. I try and be very strong. I try and put on a very brave face a lot of the time because I have a little boy who I don't want him to see mummy being very ill. Also for my husband who just does everything for me.
Has made me really appreciate the life that I have, or the life that we all have, and what a gift it is to have life. I do so much. I do so many good things. I spend so much time with good people. I enjoy every day.
It's always difficult to say. I mean, initially, I think everybody thought I was going to die. And then they got their heads around the fact that I wasn't, but I was still seriously ill, or at least I wasn't going to die then. It's just been devastating for everybody.
So the impact has been, I am no longer the one that takes care of everybody. Everybody takes care of me. So I would pride myself on being a good mum, a good wife, a good worker, and that's completely changed. I'm still signed off work. My husband now does everything around the house. The kids, although they're older and away from home, when they come home, it's not necessarily me doing the maternal, motherly looking after them, and I find that's the hardest thing.
Make Seconds Count is dedicated to making women and men living with secondary breast cancer count. We are the only charity of its type in Scotland, helping fund research into secondary breast cancer. The research will work towards extending and improving the quality of life for patients battling against this currently treatable yet incurable disease. But to do this, we need your help. We need donations, volunteers, sponsors. Help us to help those who are dying for a cure to secondary breast cancer.
I want options.
I want a good quality of life.
I want to carry on enjoying life.
I want to see my son grow up.
I want to be able to take my life for granted again.
I want to live.
Together,
We can make
Seconds count.